5 ways I can tell that, unfortunately, sorry, you're not going to stop overspending this year. First is you're still blaming your personality. If you treat overspending like it's an identity trait and not a behavioral pattern, you're actually just going to lock it in. 2, you've still deluded yourself that discipline is the solution, and you're still trying this kind of stuff. Discipline without a diagnosis is a relapse waiting to happen. By the way, I speak of this from a place of love. I was a shopaholic for 20 years, and I was a marketer, which meant that I could talk myself back into overspending on anything. It took me a long time to get out. And that was also because for the longest time, I did not do this thing. 3, review purchases. If you're never asking yourself this stuff after a purchase, then you're just running the same experiment over and over again without a postmortem. Strategic shoppers conduct debriefs. Compulsive shoppers move on to the next shiny thing. The 4th is you confuse desire with intuition. It just felt right, or I knew I was going to love it. That's engineered by marketers. They spend so much money on getting that feel right. If you do not study their game, you're going to keep mistaking their influence for your intuition. 5, you refuse to look at what you're avoiding. Usually overspending is due to one of these.
20 years as a shopaholic and a marketer, that combination is actually terrifying when you think about it. She literally knew every trick in the book and still couldn't stop herself. That tells you this isn't about intelligence or willpower. This is something way deeper. And that line about mistaking their influence for your intuition, that's the one that should wake everybody up. That feeling of, I just knew I'd love it. That's not your gut talking. That's a billion-dollar marketing machine talking. They have spent years and obscene amounts of money engineering exactly that feeling in your body. So the next time something feels like intuition in a store or on your phone, pause and ask who built that feeling and why.
If you haven't replaced shopping as your emotional regulator with something else, then you're not going to be done overspending. Here's the truth I discovered after 20 years of being a shopaholic. Shame is only a shortcut to stopping overspending. You actually stop when you get curious enough to study your own desire. I'm on a mission to help overspenders become strategic shoppers. Follow to rewire how you buy.
60% of the American public is about to lose everything they have. People living paycheck to paycheck are about to go broke. The GDP numbers came in yesterday, and of course the economy receded, which I predicted 2 months ago, and people laughed. Mark my words, the second quarter is going to be far worse. Tariffs on Chinese products at 145% are about to kick in, which means everything you buy from China on Amazon or elsewhere is about to go through the roof. Grocery store shelves are starting to empty at Walmarts across the country, and of course grocery prices continue to soar. People who've been financing groceries on credit are starting to default on those payments. We are about to see an economic catastrophe. If you're in this 60% that has little or no money, please stop spending money. Protect your family. Trump does not care about you. Even if you voted for him, he's a billionaire. He won't suffer, but you and your family will. Please protect yourself. 60% of the...
If one of your goals in 2026 is to stop overspending, then you need to do these 2 things. You need to separate and you need to automate. The minute that money lands in your bank account from your job on payday, you need to separate it. You need to decide exactly how much you're going to spend on your necessities, how much you're spending on fun, and how much you're putting away for future you. You then need to separate these 3 categories. The best way to do this is to literally have separate bank accounts. I have one bank account where all of my direct debits, all of my essential living expensive bills, mortgage, everything comes from, and another one that I transfer a portion of my income into every single month so that I can spend it on the things that bring me joy. So that's separation. And then automation is basically set up a direct debit for all of these things to be done on autopilot. You think about it one time, and then every single month from now on, your money is going to go exactly where you tell it to.
This is genuinely the most practical advice on overspending I've heard in a long time. Separate and automate. That's it. That's the whole strategy. Because here's the truth nobody wants to admit. Willpower is a limited resource, and it runs out. You will eventually give in if the money is just sitting there accessible. But when you have to physically log into another account and manually transfer funds just to overspend, that friction saves you. That extra 30 seconds of inconvenience is enough time for your rational brain to catch up with your emotional brain. Set the system up once, let it run, and stop relying on discipline that was never going to last anyway. Your future self will genuinely thank you for this one.
This means because you're not thinking about your money, it just happens without you having to deal with it. There's far less chance of you overspending because you have automated this however much per month into your fun money spending pot, and that's all you have to spend. If you want to overspend, you have to physically go into another bank account and transfer money out, which is just creating friction in that process and is going to give you a bit more time to maybe think about why you're moving that money to buy something and can it wait until the next payday.
At this point, I seriously think Gen Z is just screwed. In 2026, Gen Z just simply earns way less than it costs to survive. The average Gen Zer makes about $25K a year, which is around $21,000 a month, and spends basically all of it on bills or rent. Nearly half of Gen Z runs out of money before the end of the month ends, and that's not just budgeting, that's just survival at that point. And don't get me started on student loan debt, because the average Gen Zer also has about $30K of student loan debt on top of all of that. We are spending more on essentials than any other previous generation, and wages just keep going down, and the cost of living just keeps going up. You're not failing in life. The system is just completely fucked us over. Budgeting does help, don't get me wrong. I still use mine to budget and track all of my expenses, but the system is still failing us.
Ich war noch nie so broke in meinem Leben. Wenn du fragst, ob du 5 Euro haben kannst, kann sein, ich sag nein. Wenn ein Räuber ankommt, ich sag, Bruder, nimm alles, aber es bringt dir auch nichts. Gibt nichts zu holen.
Yo, this is a wild time, right? Not that it's raining, but what people consider not doing well. Not doing well for most people right now means, hey, I didn't get to go out to eat this week. Hey, we can't go on vacation this year. So how are people affording life right now? Because we can't go on vacation this year. Hey, I'm finna go buy a new car, but the car doesn't have Apple CarPlay. Modern times have really warped, and I understand, because if you've only been born in a certain time, you can't imagine what's going on. None of these people are saying, hey, I can't pay my rent. I can't put food on my table.
He's making a point worth sitting with here. There's a real difference between being broke and being inconvenienced, and somewhere along the way, people stopped knowing which one they are. Not having Apple CarPlay is not a financial crisis, that's just Tuesday. But because we've grown up in this constant upgrade culture, not having the latest version of something genuinely feels like suffering. That psychological shift is dangerous because it keeps you spending to fix feelings that aren't actually emergencies. Real hardship is not being able to feed your kids, and conflating that with not affording vacation does a disservice to people who are actually struggling.
Table, they are saying groceries are expensive. Yeah, groceries are expensive, but you still paid the money. So, before you start to think about or mention, hey, how can you afford, or how can you, guess what? You're paying.
If your goal in 2026 is to stop overconsumption, here's what I plan on doing to make sure that I stop overbuying and overconsuming. I honestly realized I was overspending on things I already own, just in different versions. So instead of cutting everything out, I created a few personal rules to keep my spending intentional. Number 1, I cannot replace products until they are completely finished. Right now, I have multiple products that serve the same purpose, so I plan on using those fully, and then I can repurchase my favorite one. Number 2, I cannot buy things just because they are trending. This one is especially hard because as a consumer, we are always thrown different products that are new and trendy. In the past, I have fallen for those things, and it turns out my standard favorite products that I use daily are much better than these weird trendy ones that won't last. And number 3, I have to follow the 72-hour rule. This basically means when I see something that I want to purchase, I have to think on it for 72 hours, which is approximately 3 days. Studies show that if you do this, you are less likely to fall for impulse-driven purchases. And if you're still thinking about it after 72 hours, there's a good chance that you are going to use it or it is important to you.
Why can't I stop spending money? Hi ladies, my name's Paige. I'm a spending coach and I work with women and I help them stop impulse shopping and overspending. This is by far the most common question that I get from my clients and my students. And if you're like, yes, please help me, start by giving me a follow, and you can also start with the free training in my bio. Now there's many answers to this one question. I'm just going to tell you one in this video today, but this is something that I lovingly refer to as the hot girl hamster wheel. The hot girl hamster wheel is something that we get ourselves on as women because we have all been programmed and socialized to believe by consumer culture that our self-worth.
Stop everything, because she just described one of the most sophisticated and predatory systems ever built. The entire beauty and fashion industry is engineered around one core message: you are not enough right now. But our product will fix that. And the genius and the evil of it is they keep redefining what enough looks like. Different body type this year, different lips next year, different aesthetic next season. You are literally on a wheel that never stops, and every time you think you've caught up, the standard moves. And this isn't an accident. This is intentional, because a woman who genuinely loves herself as she is a terrible customer. The financial damage of chasing constantly shifting beauty standards is real. It's measurable, and most people never connect those dots. Understanding this isn't just good for your self-esteem, it is directly good for your bank account.
Our confidence, our worthiness is all for sale, and it has a price point, and all we have to do is go out and buy it. I would say one of the major categories that so many of my clients do a ton of overspending in is on beauty items. It's on makeup, it's on clothes, it's on hair products, plastic surgery, injections, eyelash extensions, anything that we can essentially do to alter our physical appearance. Because again, what we've been told by consumer culture is if you want to feel a certain way, if you want to feel beautiful, desirable, sexy, skinnier, all you have to do is go out and buy my product, and my product will deliver that emotional experience to you. So because of this, we hop on the hot girl hamster wheel and we go out and we start buying and spending and shopping on all of these things to alter our physical appearance so that we can feel a certain way. Here's where this becomes a problem. It's a problem because your self-worth, your confidence, your worthiness, none of it is actually for sale. How confident, how worthy you feel actually doesn't come from anything in your external world. It comes from within you. It comes from something called your self-concept, which is how you think about yourself and what you believe to be true about you. The other tricky part of this is that beauty standards are constantly changing. So when we feel like we've caught up to the current beauty standards, they change, and then we have to go out and buy a whole new slew of products just to keep up, just so we can stay on the hot girl hamster wheel, feeling the way that we want to feel. But at the end of the day, we are all trying to win a battle that cannot be won. We're all trying to live up to standards that can't be lived up to. And it's not going to stop until all of us collectively say, I don't need your products to feel the way that I want to feel about myself. I don't need your product.
That right there is the whole game being exposed in one sentence. Your confidence, your worth, your sense of self, none of it has a price tag. But we've been told so many times and in so many ways that it does, that most people actually believe it. Think about how much money you've spent in your life chasing a feeling that was free the whole time. The feeling of being enough, of being worthy, of liking what you see that comes from inside, and it always did. No product has ever delivered that permanently, and none ever will.
Products to feel worthy. I don't need your products to feel confident. I don't need your products to know that I am beautiful. There is no bigger realization that I have made for myself that has impacted my spending habits more than this one, which is I don't have to spend any money to feel the way that I want to feel about myself. And that is true for all of you as well. So again, if you need help with your spending habits, this is exactly the sort of thing I can help you with. Give me a follow. Start with the training in my bio. I'm here for you. I love you, and I hope this helps.
For me, living paycheck to paycheck means that we rely on our next paycheck to meet our bills and necessities. We don't have an entire paycheck worth of savings in a savings account to make up for any loss of income. I don't know what that means for everybody. Like, we have extra money, we have extra spending money, we go out to eat, we do all those things. We just rely on paychecks in order to pay our bills. But I don't know if that's what everyone views it as.
In case you don't realize just how bad the economy is, no one is buying anything anymore. Oh wait, sorry, not no one. Actually, half of all consumer spending for the first time in history is just the top 10% of American households. You know what that means? Our economy is literally held up by wealthy people because they are the only people who can afford to buy shit. And by the way, this doesn't mean that wealthy people are so amazing because they're helping our economy grow. No, why do you think they're the only people that can afford anything? Don't even get me started on the ultra wealthy people, because get this, since the 1980s, billionaires' wealth has grown by 4,500%, while wages only grew by 15%. And while workers' wages only grew 15%, rent went up 400%. College tuition went up 1,200%. Groceries went up 300%. So who's benefiting here? And here's a hint, it's probably not you. It's probably not your family, it's probably not your friends. So why are you defending them so hard? Oh, I think I'll be a billionaire one day, is what you say to yourself. Get the fuck over yourself.
If you find it really hard to know whether or not you like an item or if it's just a trend and you're seeing it everywhere, I have a little hack. Basically, on this week's episode of Two Broke Chicks, we asked the question, is personal style dead? And we discussed like a viral article that discussed like personal style trend cycles and the role that social media plays into it. It's a question that you can ask to decide and figure out whether or not you like an item or whether it's the mere exposure effect. And the question is, if no one was going to see me in this, would I still buy it? No one.
That question is a scalpel. It cuts right through all the noise. Because most people, when they're honest with themselves, realize a terrifying amount of their wardrobe was bought for an audience. Not because they loved it, not because they needed it, but because of how it would look to other people. And that's a really expensive way to manage what other people think of you. You are literally going broke performing a version of yourself for people who are too busy performing their own version to even notice yours. Pair this with the 72-hour rule she mentioned earlier, and you have a genuinely powerful filter for almost every impulse purchase. Ask both questions: would I still want this if no one saw it? And do I still want it in 3 days? If the answer to either is no, you just saved yourself real money.
If I was going to see me in this, would I still buy it? That has literally altered my brain chemistry and literally restructured the entire thing of how I shop. I think that's how we do it. We actually go into the psychology of trends and how they fit into your sense of belonging and like the sense of security you get by belonging to a trend, and that's why it's so easy to get wrapped up into it. But yeah, hope that helps with your future shopping, chicks. Saves you a bit of money. Love it.
If you struggle with impulse spending, here's a no bullshit way to actually stop that cycle. The first thing you should know is that you are not bad at managing money. Okay, you probably need to hear this. You're not bad at managing money because you have an impulse spending habit. You are just caught in this vicious cycle of the habit loop, and you need somebody who's going to help you get out. And I'm here for you. Okay, the habit loop is a psychological thing that happens where we experience a cue, we have a routine that then gives us a reward, and that trains our brain that when we have that cue to always go to that routine because we know we're going to get what we need in that situation. Think about the habit of biting your nails. You have this cue, this anxiety, and your routine is to bite your nails to feel relief, which is the reward. So every time you feel anxious, your brain knows to bite your nails so that you can feel relief. It is our brain and body's job to figure out how to keep us safe. So you might feel this feeling of, maybe lack of motivation. You're feeling tired, you're angsty, you're anxious, and your routine is to spend because that gives you a hit of dopamine that makes you feel better. So now your body knows that when I don't feel good, when I don't feel safe, and I don't feel well, I know that shopping and purchasing things makes me feel better, and now you're training your brain to stay in that cycle. So how do you actually get out of that? Well, it's not going to be the most fun process because breaking any bad habit is not fun. Our brains are trained in this cycle, and so it's going to feel a little weird at first, but you need to find something to break that pattern of that routine. So whenever you're feeling tired, anxious, unmotivated, whatever, and your desire is to shop because that is your routine, you need to find some other source of dopamine. That could be going for a walk, baking some cookies, reading a book, whatever it is that's going to give you that same dopamine hit to retrain your brain not to turn to shopping when you feel that way.
I'm 54, and if you're young...
She just laid out the actual neuroscience of why this is so hard to break. It's not weakness, it's not laziness, it's a trained neural pathway that your brain has been reinforcing every single time you shop to feel better. Your brain doesn't judge the habit, it just knows the sequence works. Feel bad, buy something, feel relief, and the only way out is a replacement, not removal. Go for a walk, bake something, call someone, do anything that gives your brain that same hit of dopamine without opening your wallet. The habit loop doesn't care what fills it. Give your brain a better option and it will eventually take it.
Younger and still playing with your finances? Let me warn you before it gets real. Your bank account is a mirror. Don't get mad at the reflection. It's not what you spend, it's why you're spending. Think about this. If your income doubled tomorrow, would your habits still keep you broke? You keep saying you want change, but you're addicted to convenience. You can't manifest money with a spending problem. Debt is not a curse. It's a contract, and you keep renewing it with your choices. Stop calling it a treat if it's keeping you trapped. If you wouldn't post your bank account with the same confidence that you post your new outfit, it's time to refocus. You don't need a vacation. You need a financial reset and a nap. The answer isn't found in a raise or more money. It's found in how you treat $100. Don't blame God for the drought when you mismanage the rain. Hope that helps.
Here is my hot take. TikTok is ruining your budget. Let me just say, these influencers, people who just literally just TikTok shop, all of these videos, they are ruining finances for people. It has just become so easy to just spend. People spend so much and so easy. And it has become so toxic. And this influencer culture of, oh my God, look at this new spray that I got. It's the best thing ever. You need it.
She is absolutely right, and more people need to hear this said this directly. Every single haul video, every unboxing, every you need this in your life post is essentially a paid commercial dressed up as a recommendation from a friend. And the algorithm is not neutral here. It is actively learning what makes you specifically reach for your wallet. and serving you more of it. This is not influencers just sharing things they like. This is a sophisticated attention economy designed to extract money from you continuously. The spray you don't need, the MacBook upgrade that isn't necessary, the romper you're not even sure will fit. It all adds up to thousands of dollars a year, and the people selling it to you will not be there when your rent is due. Your budget is not a suggestion, it is a boundary. And the first step to protecting it is recognizing that every piece of content trying to sell you something is an adversary, not a friend.
And then it's like, oh my God, I do need that. That is the best spray ever. I'm gonna get it. You don't need it. You already have 10 other sprays. Why do you need this spray? And it's always like, you have to get this. You need this. You need this new MacBook Pro. No, you don't. You already have one and it's perfectly fine. And it is just, I'm so tired of it. I'm so tired of that. You need this. Your life is not going to be good without this. My life is fine without it. I don't need you influencing me with another product because the overconsumption is getting so freaking crazy. It has gotten so freaking crazy. We don't need to be spending money on all this crap. You don't need it. You literally don't need it. And I'm tired of it. I'm tired of all these girls on TikTok. Get this, get this. No, your budget says no, so don't get it.
I have come to the realization that I have an overwhelming urge to spend money every single day of my life. And it's becoming a problem because I'm trying to get out of debt. So this is everything I'm fighting the urge to buy today. First up, this activewear set from Target. I've started a running journey recently, so I've been super into buying activewear. That being said, I bought a lot of activewear recently. Actually, I have a set I just bought in a very similar color. Next, also from Target, I have a million protein bars at home. I literally just had a Bare Rose protein bar because I have so many at home. I saw a TikTok last week saying these were good. So now I want to try them. I don't need these. Next up, this romper from Altered State. I have had my eye on this for weeks. I don't even think it would be flattering on my body. And also look at the price. Am I insane? And lastly, my entire Nespresso cart. I'm nowhere near running out of Nespresso pods at home, but I also don't ever want to run out. So that's everything I have just wanted to buy on my 30-minute lunch break today.